All right, go ahead, guys.
Yeah, this is Vic from The Athletic. I know you have a pretty good turnout this year. What's it been like for you, and how does it compare to last year at this time, and what will the difference be, you think, going forward?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
I said you have a good turnout so far. I was wondering how it compares for you to last year at the same time, and what kind of difference you think that will make going into the season?
From this year to last year, I feel like you talking about as far as myself?
You and the whole team has been around.
Oh, okay.
Together and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's good that a lot of guys came to OTAs.
This meeting is being recorded.
It's good that a lot of guys came to OTAs, come together, learn each other, learn the new teammates. It was imperative because we got a new defensive coordinator, new defensive staff, new system. So really excited about that, having the chance to be around the guys, learn each other, learn the calls, be able to have some camaraderie, and so we can be better than we were the year before.
Trayvon, this is Hondo Carpenter from Sports Illustrated. I'm curious, obviously it's just OTAs, but can you talk about the adjustment to the new scheme, new coordinator, new coach, just your initial thoughts on it, please?
For me, I feel like it's going well. As a defensive group, we're all coming together step by step. Even with mistakes, we got to fix it. It's a new system. Those things are going to happen. But I believe if we just continue to stay together, be with each other, play as a unit, and continue to grow, then we'll be fine. I'm happy with the guys that we have here. I feel like we're going to grow and be something special.
Hey Trayvon, Case from Las Vegas Sun. What stood out about working with Gus Bradley so far, and how's he different than other coaches and coordinators you've worked with throughout your career?
Just the way he is as a person. He cares a lot more about just the football. He wants guys to, be a part of each other, be a team, learn together. He's going to put us in the best positions. He's going to give us the best calls. We just got to go out there and play together. And one thing he told us is never the call, it's the players. And that's true. We got to go out there, come together, play as a unit, and that's how we're going to accomplish our goals.
Trayvon, Vinny with the Las Vegas Review-Journal. I know time kind of flies, but you're now heading into year 3. Do you kind of feel like you're becoming more of a veteran player, leadership-wise, and just that being a veteran? Do you kind of feel that? Are you feeling that transition for you?
Yeah, I feel like I'm better than ever. I trained hard this offseason. I'm still going hard, learning this new system, helping the young guys, being around the young guys, even helping me get even better, being accountable of a lot of things, trying to be that leader for the younger guys, and so I can be good for myself and as a team, for my teammates. But I feel like I'm better than ever. I'm prepared, I'm ready. I practice hard, my fundamentals, and just the way I approach each day.
Trayvon, leave Edwards with Raiders.com. As you were just kind of talking about becoming a leader and really being someone to look up to for the young guys, are there any young guys that are new to the roster, that secondary, that you've been able to kind of take under your wing, or that you've really been impressed with so far, that's been able to come into the team?
Yeah, I'd say Nate Hobbs, young guy. I feel like he's going to be really talented. He practice hard. He go through his drills really well. I like the way he approached practice. I feel like he's going to be a real good player for us, as long as he just keep his mentality up and just keep going hard every day. Trey is doing very well. I'm happy for him. I'm excited to see how he's going to transition to this system. And the way he's approaching every day is like he's ready and prepared.
All set, guys? All right, thank you very much.
Hey, go ahead, Willie.
Hey, Darren, Willie Ramirez with the Associated Press. Last year, you led the team in receiving. You got a few years under your belt. Henry comes in for his second season. Just can you maybe talk about maybe the growing pains he's endured and how you see him emerging in his second season and sort of maybe establishing a bigger role this year?
Yeah, I feel like Henry, it's tough when you you're in this game, and he has so many expectations of him from outside people, the media, anybody that's watching football. They have high expectations for him just for where he got drafted. And I feel like for him, if he can just get to a place where he just expects of himself and goes out there and performs just to, prove to himself that he is the player that he is now and the player that he's going to become, I feel like that will take, a lot of weight off of his shoulders and allow him to just go out there and have fun. I used to worry about a whole lot of things, but if you make the game as simple as possible and just focus on your craft and just having fun with your teammates, you can do a lot of great things. And I see Henry doing that, and he's light out there. He has good personality, and I'm excited about what I see from him.
Hey Darren, it's Tashawn Reed from The Athletic. You're coming off another year where you played at a high level. As a player, once you string together a couple seasons like that, how do you go about, sort of critiquing your game and looking for ways to improve when you're, kind of achieving everything at an elite level? Is it getting any more difficult to kind of identify ways to continue to improve?
It's always a challenge, especially at this point. Naturally, as a human being, if you do things at a fairly high level for a good amount of time, you want to naturally kind of kick your feet back and kind of coast a little bit. But for me, it's just like doing the opposite. It's watching even more tape of anybody that I can get my eyes and hands on, and just look at any little thing that I can to improve my game, the smallest details. It's really just diving in deeper than I ever have before and realizing that, if I want to continue to have a successful career, the steps to doing that are infinite, and there's never a chance for me to kind of just kick back and just, cruise on autopilot. I always have to make sure that, the same work ethic I came in with the team when they first claimed me, I have to continue to approach the game with that sense of urgency.
Darren, this is Hondo Carpenter from Sports Illustrated. Obviously, you're a team leader, so my question is from a leadership role. Can you talk about all the new guys, how much it is a blessing to have OTAs so you guys can build that camaraderie as a team that you didn't get last year, please?
It's always very important to be just together as a team and just be around each other and to get to know each other, laugh, joke, work hard, sweat with each other. It's a very valuable experience. This time, this April to June, is where you lay a foundation for those long runs that go into February. This time is so valuable, especially to young players. I'm glad that the rookies this year don't have to be, at home on laptops in rooms by themselves trying to learn, playbooks with great volume. They can be here, be around coaches, and really feed off of the environment. And I feel like that's much more, suited for learning and learning fast. So I'm glad that everybody's here, glad that everybody's, invested and excited about, what this season can be for us. And I feel like we're off to a great start.
Hey Darren, Vinny with the Las Vegas Review-Journal. I know the tight end room looks a little bit different this year. But in particular, Foster Moreau, I know he was coming off an injury last year, still kind of coming back from that. From your perspective, how does he look so far during OTAs? And, how do you feel like he's going to be able to be implemented in what you guys are doing?
Foster looks, his explosiveness just continues to increase every time, we come back together as a team, just from working with him in the off season, and, he's working hard just like with me, like he's even pushing me with the way that he works and with the, attention to detail that he's been working with this off season, and it's carrying over out here. He looks a lot more fluid, and it's just continuing on that path to being the player that I know that he can be, and he can be, an extremely vital component to this offense. And I can't wait to see him, expand the routes that he runs, and the way that the offensive staff continues to challenge him, because you can never have too many weapons, and I feel like Foster, can really show the world who he's capable of being this season, and can continue to build on top of that. So I'm really excited for him.
Hey Darren, obviously you guys invested a lot on the defense in the offseason and throughout the draft and everything. Just curious, any guys on defense, new guys that have kind of popped to you thus far?
Yeah, definitely. Casey Hayward, of course, he just brings that leadership, that veteran presence, being in that system for a while, being a multi-time Pro Bowler. When he's out there and he's speaking, guys listen. And, it's just great to have him here. I'm very impressed by the rookies. Trayvon, he has a very calm nature about him. He doesn't really get too flustered or, all over the place or, out of control. He seems very dialed in and on top of what he's doing. It's great to have Carl Joseph back. Me and him are already back to getting extra, one-on-one reps together after practice, and just his demeanor in walkthroughs and drills and everything, just how serious he is about the game of football. I feel like that, creates a sense of urgency on the defensive side. So, those are guys that I'm noticing, but, all the rookies, I can see why they wanted to have him here, and things that they're already doing that are making me like, okay, like these guys can really contribute. And I'm excited about everybody they've added.
Hey, Darren, this is Vic. Can this offense be better than it was last year, and why?
Yes, I believe so. I believe that, especially just looking at first at Henry and Brian and them taking the steps toward being the players that we all know that they can be. Two very talented young guys that, just need to continue to grind and continue to be on their processes in order to really see the success that they want to see. I feel like the offensive line is really going to be good this year. I know that, a lot of guys have shifted, but, just seeing how Andre James is taking control of the room and Colton and how those guys are setting a high standard. And, with Denzel being here, Richie, leading the way going into year 17, I believe. So I really believe in the offensive line and what they're building. And, I believe that, we get Foster really comes into his own and shows who he can be. And you got guys like John Brown, Willie. You get Kenyon out there who's going to be incredibly explosive. So I like what we have this year.
Darren Levi from Raiders.com. Over this offseason, you've been doing a lot of community stuff around Las Vegas, as well as spreading mental health awareness with your new teammate, Solomon Thomas. What are some things that you've done this offseason to stay mentally sharp going into the 2021 season?
For me, I feel like that giving back component really keeps me sharp, because I know that, that's the greatest feeling that I can feel is to, help somebody else or to be impactful in somebody else's community or sphere of influence. So I really want to do that. Just stay on top of my routine, meditating, praying, writing in my journal, still, going to meetings, still, just doing what I've been doing, keeping me built up. And because without those things, my career doesn't sustain. I have to continue to dance with what brought me here. And that's taking care of myself internally, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. And then, you get the best version of me on the football field when I'm doing those things. So I just stay on top of my daily routines.
Hey, Darren, Heidi Fang, Las Vegas Review Journal. I'm just wondering what kind of different dynamic your new tight end coach brings, being that you have worked with Frank Smith over so many years.
Yeah, Austin King, it's been great working with him so far. Him being an NFL offensive lineman, he's been teaching us a lot of new tricks as far as just little details as far as run game, as far as pass setting. Those things have been great. And, he's been an offensive coordinator before, so he's, looking up and creating folders of ideas of routes that we can run and implement in different play action schemes. So, he's a very, very, very smart guy. And then just learning stuff from him just off of life, man. It's really been a pleasure to have him here thus far, and I'm excited for the journey going forward with him.
Hey, Darren, Paul Gutierrez here from ESP. Catches in the season. How hard or how easy is it to not post going forward?
Just human nature. We do things for a while, and naturally we just want to be like, okay, like I got this figured out. But it's really realizing that, this game isn't going to give me anything. I'm not entitled to anything just because, I've put a couple years together. I still have to, like people say, Rens do every day. I still have to show up and work just as hard and just to put myself in positions, because I still can't control the results at the end of the day. I still can't control a lot of things, but I can always control how my effort, my preparation, and my attitude. And those are the things I try to control. And me being somebody that the team wants to look to as a leader with this franchise, I want to display qualities that are admirable and that young players can look at and see, like, okay, he's really doing it. He's really walking the walk. He's not just talking it or, resting on his laurels.
Darren, it's Ron Petroff from Channel 8 in Vegas. Off topic here with this question. A little bit, the final question. Vegas Golden Knights, you paying attention to what they're doing in the playoffs? You plan on watching tonight's playoff game?
Yeah, I'm checking them out. They they definitely got their work cut out for them with Colorado, but I feel like it's going to be a great series, probably one that's going to go 7 games, and I definitely plan on tuning in tonight and, you know, maybe catching another home game once they come back to Vegas.
Hey, Darren, Vic, did I see you at a concert last week? Was that your first concert in Vegas?
Yeah, so that was a foundation fundraiser event I had, and then with that, I was also one of the performing acts for the evening. I performed a few of my songs in addition to some bands that were performing there. So it was a fundraising event for my foundation, and, you know, I was just a part of the entertainment that night.
All right, Darren, you're all set.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, guys, go ahead.
Hey, Hunter, you were the second leading receiver last year, and you know, a bit off from there was Henry. Tough rookie season for him, but his growth and during the offseason and heading into OTAs, what you've seen, and just the difference he can make in his second season.
Yeah, no, I think Henry's a great player. I thought that last year. I mean, y'all didn't get to see all the things that he did, you know, for everyone else, opening up the field for everyone else. What he's doing, you can't put a stat on. And what he did last year, you can't put a stat on. And that's kind of how we're trying to be as an offense. You know, it doesn't matter who has the yards, who has the catches, who has the touchdowns. We're one unit. And the best teams I've been on are exactly that. You know, you hear outside noise and that sort of deal. You know, get to week 8 and you don't have that many yards, that many catches. But the good teams and great teams that I've been on, it doesn't matter because you're all going for the same goal. But Henry's been good, and I've, you know, people ask me this offseason how Henry has been and things like that, and honestly, he's a great player in practice. And it's not one thing where, you know, he's out there goofing around in practice and kind of not getting better, but he really is getting better every single day, and I see it every day. Same with Brian. So I'm excited about watching them too this year, and, you know, win a bunch of games.
Hunter, this is Hondo Carpenter with Sports Illustrated. What do Willie and Snead and John Brown bring to that wide receiver room? And can you just talk about the plethora of weapons on your position?
Yeah, absolutely. We're excited to have both them. Willie and John are both, you know, 2 great guys. First off, I've been lucky since I've been here for the most part, had a really good receiver room, especially when the year rolled around. But, you know, Willie and John have been 2 veteran guys with the departure of Nelly, obviously. They brought in some veteran presence. They've been on successful teams. They've been really good players for a long time. I know John's going into, you know, year whatever for him. He's 31. But, yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun competing. Like I said earlier, the great teams I've been on, you know, it doesn't matter, very selfless, but it's also, you know, very competitive practice. And I think, if anything else, it's going to, you know, push everybody else to be better and better because, you know, we look over there and you got to, you know, go out and compete. And he does a really good route, so you want to go out there and do an even better route. And so I think it's great to have them. And like I said, 2 great guys.
Yeah, this is Vic. You guys have had a good turnout this year. Can you compare the situation this year to last year? What kind of difference that should make for you guys for next season?
Yeah, I think a lot of people make a bigger deal about it than it should. I mean, everyone had the same amount of time last year. It's about what you do with your time. I think that's very important. And so, you know, if everyone's not going to be in the building, let's not everyone be in the building. And then, you know, now that we're all here and all the teams are basically coming in, let's do a better job of, you know, getting more out of being in the building. And I think we've done that. And I think that obviously it helps the rookies. I think you know, obviously having the rookies being there and being around people, I think that's the biggest thing. I think, you know, just being familiar with the coaches, how they coach, teammates, players, knowing that we have each other's backs, that's the biggest thing to me. So it's the camaraderie of it. I know it's been talked about but X's and O's as well. Just, Coach Gruden runs a, pretty intense offense that is so rewarding if you can get it down. And so it's been good to have those guys and get, not too many guys in the offense coming in, but, the guys that are, kind of get them up to date and get going.
Hey, Hunter, Vinny with the Las Vegas Review-Journal. I know it's kind of early and you're just starting to get your first look at the defense, but the Raiders did bring in some young secondary players, Trayvon, Nate Hobbs, also some veterans, Casey Hayward. Anything in particular, especially on those younger guys, that you've been able to pick up from on the new young secondary players?
Yeah, just an overall sense of belief. That's the biggest thing. I mean, we have everyone believes in something back there. And I think that's great. I think it starts with, Hayward coming in, Casey, and him just being around it first off. But, it's worked in the past, and it's a really good defense. And I think Coach Bradley has done a great job of, instilling that belief, especially in the young guys. And so running out there, it's a lot of new faces. But, you see something every day where you're like, all right, he's starting to get it. He's starting to, put it together. And so as we roll into, training camp and this next month off after OTAs, it's going to be fun kind of seeing them progress because super talented. And we're going to have a chance to be pretty good on defense, have a special year.
Now, Hunter, it's Ron Futrell from Channel 8. A couple of questions here for you. How did it feel running some deep routes in the heat out there this morning? It's the first time, at least, that we've seen you guys running the deep routes in the heat there. And also wanted to see if you're paying any attention to the Vegas Golden Knights with their playoffs and what they're doing right now, if you're watching that.
Yeah, no, I did. Big Game 7 last Friday night. Got the win. They didn't get off to the start. They're in Game 2, right? They lost Game 1. Didn't get off to the start they wanted, but it's not how you start, it's how you finish. So I'm excited to watch them. I think they have another game coming up here tonight. Yeah, and then I think Friday as well at home. And then, so hopefully, I've never been to a Golden Knights game. I'm excited to watch them play. Seriously, I've never, been to a hockey game in general. So I'm just excited. I hear the atmosphere is unbelievable. Vegas just gets up for it and that energy. And so hopefully, maybe Friday I'll be able to go and watch them, go up 2-1 hopefully. But it's always good when you can, run some deep routes. I run a lot of underneath stuff, so I like to air it out a little bit. You're healthy. So I think we have a lot to be thankful for, a lot to be appreciative of, even on the days when it's hot and it's 100 degrees outside. Just thankful to have legs to be able out there and go run deep routes and get that chemistry with Derek and the other quarterback. So a lot to be thankful for.
Hey, Hunter, you mentioned Brian Edwards a bit, in one of your first questions there. Just curious, how he's come back different. What's different about him as you guys dive into OTAs now? Yeah,
he's slowly been progressing, since he's, been off. But he looks good. He looks powerful. That's the one thing I say about Brian. He runs very powerful routes. He's powerful at, top of his break point. And then when he goes to catch the ball, he snatches it away. And so, he's just a baller. I've known him since, we were kids, and he's always been that way. And so hopefully, he can stay healthy and have a great year this year. And y'all all and the rest of the world can kind of see what I've seen since a kid. Just an all-around baller. And he's really taken that next step. To me personally, just seeing him, attack routes and attack DBs.
Hunter, Adam Hill, Las Vegas Review-Journal. I was just wondering maybe what your homework assignments were, for lack of a better term, in the offseason, and what you see as your next step in your progression.
Yeah, a bunch of stuff. I had a list. I kind of had a notebook of things over the course of the year that I wanted to get better at, and kind of get longer and longer as the season went along. But at the top of my mind, I think I can attack the football better. Sometimes I get it and get into the body and get passive. And then also just, I do a lot of underneath stuff. So, getting a good plan, watching a lot of guys, how they attack so that, you get late in the season, you're not doing the same stuff. And so those were kind of my big two things. You can get too worried about so many things that you don't focus on a few. And so my big thing this year is, take tidbits as you go, but really hone in and focus on those few things and coming in flatter on routes so you can attack the ball. And so that's mine.
Thanks, everyone.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate it.
You guys got us?
Yeah, Henry Willie Ramirez with the Associated Press. Just how would you summarize your rookie years, just in overall fashion, your assessment? And then second part, are you ready to assume a bigger role in this offense this season?
Of course I'm ready to assume a bigger role. I mean, last year it was, for me to describe it, it was a start. And that's pretty much the best way I can describe it. It's something to build on. It's a starting point, and we're just going to build from there. And, of course, like I said, I'm ready for, take on a bigger role and help my team in a bigger way.
Maybe this is Vinny with the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Just from our perspective, you look bigger than you were last year when you came into the season. Have you added some strength and some weight, and you put a lot of work in conditioning and weight room and nutrition during this offseason?
Yes, that's been one of my main points of emphasis, and I mean it's just constantly just trying to eat all the time and going hard in the weight room, and it's been paying off.
Yeah, Henry, Ron Futrell from Channel 8. A couple of questions here for you. How did it feel running deep routes there in the heat this morning? The first time, at least, that we've seen you running some deep routes. A little toasty this morning out there. And curious if you're watching any of the Vegas Golden Knights hockey playoffs right now.
Well, first it was hot. I can say that, but I mean it's what we do every day. We're in Vegas. We're used to it. So I mean it's always fun to get out there and run routes and just get better and build that chemistry with the team.
Henry Willie again, to Vinny's question about just getting bigger, getting stronger. Do you feel that, it's somewhat of a necessity to maybe add to the repertoire instead of running deep routes? I mean, I know that's your specialty with your speed, but in terms of maybe some more screen passes and use that speed for yards after catch, but adding that physicality and by adding the muscle and the strength.
I mean, I can always develop in all areas. So I mean, adding strength, adding versatility, moving around, moving different positions, running different routes, expanding my route tree, just doing different things, finding different ways to help the team out. That's pretty much me. So I'm open to all of it, and I'm excited going forward to learn and do new things for the team.
Henry, you guys didn't have this offseason program last year due to COVID-19. Getting in the building, getting on the field, taking what you learned in the classroom to the field. How important is this step, and do you feel like it's beneficial for the process for you guys?
I mean, now that I'm here and I'm a part of it, I definitely feel like it's a necessity. I mean, just being around the guys, building chemistry, and just being around the coaches, and even getting that hands-on work, it just makes things that much easier, and makes it make sense.
Henry, by Damien from USA Today. Hunter Renfrow just said that the things that you do on the field, you can't put a stat on, essentially. Just the ways that you get people open with the routes you run and whatnot. How do you see that? How do you look at that, what you were able to do last year outside of the stat line? And are you happy with that being your role, or do you want more?
I mean, of course you want more. I think everybody wants more than, what they had last season. But, I mean, I look at it as being a team player, fulfilling my role, doing what I'm asked to do.
Yeah, this is Vic from The Athletic. You look at the offense this year. How is it better than it was last year? How can you guys get better as an offense this year?
Well, I say number one, we have an offseason, so we're building chemistry. We're working around each other. We know what guys like, what guys want to do, and different things like that. So I say that's the biggest thing, just chemistry, just learning, learning the ins and outs of the offense, learning the guys, and knowing who to put in what situation.
Henry Adam, Las Vegas Review Journal. Do you have like goals in mind specifically for numbers, anything like that for this season, or is there goals that you set on paper that you want to achieve, whether they're numbers or otherwise? And was there any point last year when you were frustrated at all?
If you ask me any goals, better than last year. That's the biggest thing, just improvement and improve every day, every year, and that's what I want to do. And last year's in the past. Yes, it probably was frustrating, at times. But like I said, that's in the past. We build on it. We're fresh start now, and we're just gonna, we're gonna work to make it better.
Aaron, one of the things that Darren brought up earlier that he dealt with when had his first season or first couple of seasons was sort of living up to everybody else's expectations, and so as a first round draft pick, did that maybe add to the frustration and maybe just thinking what everyone else is expected out of you, especially coming out of the program that you came out of, and that you transitioned to just living up to your own expectations and sort of relieves a weight off your shoulders?
Honestly, I don't think anybody's expectations for me is higher than myself. So if I'm frustrated with anything, it's because I didn't do what I feel like that I can do or I'm able to achieve. So it's the critics and what the coaches or other players around the league may say about me. That it doesn't really do too much for me because I know what I can do, and I'm my biggest critic. So no one else can make me feel bad about that.
It's been an impressive group of receivers from Alabama the last few years. How much do you guys still push each other?
Oh, all the time. We talk pretty much every day, and they're like blood, So we talk every day. We push each other, and we just can't get out on the field and compete, on opposite sidelines.
Okay, thank you, Henry.
All right, thank you.